So you have your A-level chemistry paper exam soon. I'm going to tell you what I did for this exam and the things that you should look out for in this paper so you feel as prepared as you can. I'm going to give you some last minute tips that should hopefully help you out so you know exactly what to expect and what things to focus on so that you give yourself the best possible chances for this exam. This video is more tailored towards people who are doing AQA. However, if you are doing other exam boards, the general tips I tell you should also apply still. I will say some specific things to do with the paper itself and specific topics that are related to AQA. Now, let's just get straight on with it. I'm just going to show you all the physical topics that come up in this paper. I'll just put it right here. You can see that some things aren't here that you might expect. For example, there's no rate equations in this paper. Even though it is a physical topic, it's not one that will come up in this exam for certain. So what kind of things should you look out for? Born-Haber cycles, they always come up. You know those time of flight maths calculations? Those come up a lot in this paper as well. Be very familiar with how they work. They're usually a good 5-6 marks. And they're actually really easy 5-6 marks to get if you know what you're doing. If you don't, it can be very tricky in understanding what's going on. pH calculations, so your acids and bases, they love to come up in this exam. Especially those really difficult buffer calculations questions. Really practice those and understand how to do them. Some really chunky titration question, they love to throw it in this paper. So be very clear with your titrations. For example, your back titrations. A lot of people have difficulty with back titrations. It's really confusing and it's usually a good 6, 7, 8 marks. However, if you understand the underlying mechanism behind it, you realize that it's actually the same thing over and over again with these back titration questions. So there's this one YouTube video that I always recommend because it makes back titrations make so much more sense. I'll leave it down below in the description. Watch it. It helps in understanding these back titrations. But with a lot of these questions, you need to write out your own equations and be able to use them to find the molar ratios. So in terms of the maths, be aware of those back titration questions, maybe even redox titration questions, or potentially the time of flight calculation, the acids and bases calculations. Those are the main calculation questions that can come up in this. There are a lot of other ones in other topics, but these are usually the high yield, high mark ones that come up. Now, obviously there are other things like KC, AP, but they aren't as many marks as these ones that I mentioned. Okay, what about the other side of things? Your inorganic. This is the only paper that really has inorganic content. You do also get inorganic a tiny bit in paper 3, but a lot of the content is going to be sprinkled throughout this paper, and a lot of inorganic is a case of memorizing lots and lots of equations. So you need to learn those equations. What I did was I made the sheet where I had all the different equations to learn and I just rewrote them again and again. And right before the exam, my best tip is to focus on your inorganic and really get those equations into your head. So if you just have a couple of hours before your exam, focus on learning those equations because they're 3 marks. But if you don't know it, you don't know it, right? What can you do? You might be able to deduce it, but it's very difficult, especially with some of the harder ones and the longer ones. Whether it's your transition metal equations or your period 3 equations, there are so many different equations. What I've done is I've compiled a list of the different equations for you to memorize and be able to write out. And I will leave that down below in the description. Hopefully that should help you guys out. Print it and do it a load of times until you get really comfortable with it and you know all of the equations, because there's so many things within paper 1 that's just literally memorizing. Let's say you know your calculation questions, you've done topic practice, you know your equations. What else do you do for this paper? Learn your definitions. Okay, this paper is really difficult, not because the paper itself is hard, but because the grade boundaries are really high in this paper. Everyone tends to do really well in this paper, which is not good because it means the boundaries are really high. So you can't lose marks unnecessarily. Throughout the paper, there will be definition questions and like 1 or 2 mark questions asking you to state what, for example, electron affinity means or ionization energy means, or some of those thermodynamic definitions such as like lattice enthalpy of formation. Learn them. Okay, they are easy marks. You can go through different papers and just look for those definition questions and commit them to memory, make them into a flashcard and learn them, because you usually get several of these kind of questions dotted throughout the paper. And I know it's only 1 mark, but those marks add up. And boundaries are crazy. You want to do as well as you can and you want to maximize your chances for the first paper so then you don't have as much stress for the next couple. Another thing to keep in mind is your units. There are so many questions within this paper where the units are really important and so easy to mess up. For example, with Gibbs free energy change, the delta S, the entropy is in joules per Kelvin per mole. However, the delta T, the Gibbs free energy change itself, is in kilojoules. You need to make sure you divide by 1,000. Everyone makes this mistake. Another one is not a units thing, but in the Born-Haber cycle, if you're dealing with electron affinity, make sure to divide your answer by 2 because you might have few of the ions. So you need to make sure you divide by 2 at the very end. Those kind of things are really small. In this paper, you don't want to make any of those kind of mistakes. You just cannot afford to lose those marks. Another example I can think of is in the PV equals nRT equation. Everything is in the wrong units for some reason. So you need to make sure everything is in the correct SI units, the standardized units. Like for example, putting the temperature into Kelvin. And if you don't know how to do that, you just add 273 to whatever the Celsius number is. You don't want to make that mistake in your exam because you're going to be under so much stress anyways. You want to just calm down, relax, and remember these things and don't forget them. Another one is the Q equals MC delta T equation. At the very end, you're going to get an answer and you have to flip that answer, make sure it's a negative one because it's always exothermic. Look throughout the paper. Those kind of things, easy to make those mistakes. And now I want to talk about the 3 mark questions, the 4 mark questions that come up across the paper, because a lot of these repeat themselves all the time, such as when you're describing describing why the reactivity goes down a certain group, or when the ionization energy goes down a certain group. Learn those mark schemes. There's a lot of mark schemes within these chemistry papers that are literally the exact same, copy after copy every year. Learn those mark schemes, put them into your memory, and then just blurt it all out into your exam and then forget about it. Okay, so some of those inorganic 3-4 mark general concept things, learn the mark schemes for them. Talking about the bonding of different things, make sure that you talk about electrostatic attraction when you're talking about ionic, you talk about ions for that one, and then for covalent you make sure you don't say the word ions, those kind of things, right? Very simple. But if you're aware of the way the mark scheme wants you to phrase things, like in terms of van der Waals forces and dipoles, you're going to have a better advantage. So my overall tips are, if right now you have your exam in maybe a day, maybe even a few hours, my best advice is to just go through all the topics one more time. There's a lot of things in each and every one of these topics that are easy to forget. So go over it all one more time. Definitely practice at least one of all those difficult maths questions. So the acid and base question, the back titrations question, practice them, time of flight, practice all of them so you know exactly what you're doing, and make sure you learn those key definitions and learn any mark schemes that you think might be useful as well. And yeah, with that you should be ready. So best of luck. Hopefully this video helped. I'll see you guys in paper 2. Bye.